Hi, I'm Bella and welcome to my series, Funding in the Pitch Black. I'm a 22-year-old aspiring entrepreneur looking for funding for a recent business idea that I've had, and this series is what I've learned so far. I'm going to share my journey and all the steps that I'm taking to be able to get this business funded and off the ground, and then maybe even further into the journey as well. This video isn't specifically an episode, but it's more of like a little sub thing of a little thread of ideas that I've had. I'm going to be giving you 50 ideas grouped into themes that you can have a look at, take inspiration from, critique, and maybe come up with your own business ideas to kind of help you going on that journey, because getting the first ideas is the hardest part, as I explained in the last video. So just giving you some ideas on where to start might be helpful, so I hope you enjoy. The first theme that I'm going to speak about is something that we spoke about in the last video, where people just say scratch your own itch as sort of a saying and not really explaining what that means. So the everyday problems that I face is one of the first categories that I'm going to talk about. One of my first problems that I have in my everyday is having too many clothes and selling clothes, decluttering. So my business idea would be a service that helps people declutter and sell their clothes online for a commission. So you would either go into people's houses, help them declutter, or take their clothes that they want to sell. You would list them online on Vinted, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, and then take a part of the commission on anything that's sold. Also, is great for sustainability if that's something you're into, and it's a good kind of way to resell because you don't have to buy the stock, they will give you it for free, so there's none of that cash flow problems either. The next idea is a tutoring service that links students, university students, sixth form students, with secondary school or primary school kids that need tutoring. Another idea is a personal errand runner for busy professionals. So as I get busier and I'm doing more in my job, I've got so many of those little tasks that need to be done that I don't want to do. If that's returns, picking up parcels, getting little things, shopping, little bits of shopping, creating lists, everyday tasks that someone else can take over. But you don't need a personal assistant, so you don't need that salary. So a personal errand runner, and you can do it for multiple people as well. So maybe one day a week they dedicate to giving you everything to do, and you do it for them for that one day, and they can hire you per hour, per day, or per amount of tasks that you have to do. Another one of my pet peeves is having a hair bubble on my wrist. You can see I don't want to have one on my wrist right now because they're so annoying. They're so tight, they leave red marks, I hate the way that they look. I just like kind of a simple band of jewellery like this. So a product that hides the hairband on your wrist and doesn't leave a dent. So I know this exists, but it's not a hair bubble material, it's like a different type of material, but kind of like this, but it would have a slot to fit the hair bubble inside. I would love that. The next one, if you love shopping and charity shopping, thrift shopping, is a service that sets up second-hand furniture for new renters or new buyers who are looking for new furniture. So when I got a new place, I wanted really custom pieces that no one else has, like a vintage feel, but going around the shops, finding them and sourcing them is the hardest part. So if you know where to get them from, you have the time, you can supply, you can basically buy the product and add a little bit on top, and basically interior design, but focus on the furniture. Second-hand shopping, again, also good for sustainability, so I really like this idea, especially if you love shopping and love interior designs and furniture. This is something that people really, really want. My next category is AI. AI is obviously like the next big up and coming thing. So there's going to be so many new businesses coming out of it, but I've come up with like 8 ideas for AI. So the first one is prompt coaching. Prompts is probably one of the most important bits of AI. You can have the tool, but if you don't know how to put the input in correctly to get the right output, then you can't use the tool effectively. So prompt coaching, you personally need to learn how to prompt. You need to have a framework that you can coach people on and teach people how to prompt properly to get what they want. So the next AI idea is a burnout prevention tool. So someone would download this maybe onto their laptop or their phone. It would sort of be an app that's running the whole time, and it can see your workflow, what you do with your time, and it will see if you're close to burnout, what your capacity is, and then give you recommendations and maybe how to reschedule your calendar, when to take a break, things like that to prevent burnout. Another one is similar in the same gist is an AI portfolio attention tracker. So it shows where your time goes and how you can use it better. This would be good for really busy people and people that just feel like they don't know where their time goes. And another one is a hormone aware productivity app. So this is probably mainly for women, but in different phases, your luteal, your follicular phase, when you're menstruating, your hormones are at different levels, so your motivation is at different levels, and this is very hard when you've got so many tasks to do. So it would fit your month around your tasks and your menstrual cycle. Another one would be the new agentic AI and creating agentic AI agents for small brands. Creating an agent takes a long time, it's a lot of coding, and using the right tools is also really, really hard. So creating it for small brands who don't have the time to upskill themselves and learn the skill themselves, implement an AI agent, either agentic or generative AI, into these small businesses to help, either with marketing or logistics. The possibilities aren't really endless. Another fun one that's to do with AI is a style matcher. So kind of like the wardrobe apps that you have at the minute, but the AI would take your wardrobe that you've uploaded into an app, and then it matches your style with new releases, new collections, and suggests things that you should add into your wardrobe based on everything that's already there. So it might be style, it might be colour, it might be texture, something that you can add to your wardrobe that would fit in. And this would be really great for so many people who want to buy a new bag but not sure what would go with everything. It would fix that problem. My next thing is education. Educating is so important for young people. There's been a lot recently. There's been an increase in awareness of special educational needs, so things like autism, ADHD, and what I've seen, especially with my sister who does struggle, she goes to something called Forest School, and there's only one in our local area, but basically they go out, they play, they learn life skills, and they can go out and they can learn also like school skills, so they can learn counting, English, speaking. It builds their confidence, but they do it out kind of in the wilderness in a forest, but it's obviously a controlled area. So they rent out a bit of land from a farmer, they set up some things, they have loads of they had little go-karts last time I remember, but they have little games and things where they can physically do things and get involved, and it's better for them special educational needs and takes a bit of time out of the sitting school environment, and it's more interactive. So I love that, and you can kind of turn it into a franchise in your local area, and it would be great for stay-at-home parents who have the time 9 to 5, 9 to 3 like school time, because you can spend time with kids and earn extra money on the side as well. I think another thing that will be really important that should now be brought into the school curriculum is an AI class. AI is such a big thing, but you need to learn how to use the AI, and AI is also hallucinogen, so people need to be careful and cautious of it at the same time. So you could go into schools and you could give talks about AI in schools. So you could go into schools and give talks about the risks, how to use it, the benefits, the cons, and upskill the kids on this emerging technology that is completely going to change the world. Another idea to do with education is financial literacy lessons for kids. So I know this is sort of becoming a thing now, but you basically go into schools to give workshops on financial literacy, talk about everything to do with needs, wants, budgeting, taxes, income, apprenticeships, university, everything to do with earning money, saving money, spending money basically. And you could give a couple hours workshops, go around to different schools, and this could be something great, and it's quite fulfilling as well. And my final one is to do entrepreneurship workshops. So go into schools, teachers how to build their own business, how to come up with ideas, how to start building their own ideas, kind of the whole side hustle thing, and how to create their own income as something different, as this is becoming a real trend in young people wanting to start businesses. Show them how to do it properly and not get caught into these like pyramid schemes or crypto, how to build real businesses with good structure and a good foundation. My next theme is physical products. The idea I had was bin bags. I hate taking the bin out, the gross black bin bags, but basically make cute bin bags with cute patterns on, maybe scented, and you'd call it trash talks, and it would make a job that people hate and really put off into something that you quite enjoy. It looks quite cute, and there's always a bin in the middle of your kitchen, so having a nice bin bag, maybe adding a pattern to it, it makes it physically look nicer and more aesthetic. Another idea is a butter brand, but it does peanut butter like normal butter spreads. Love this idea. Peanut butter is so hard to mix, so if you have it in a physical block, you can just scrape it and put it on toast. I don't like peanut butter, but I like almond butter, so you can do different variations of that. Another problem that I see all the time is about like roadkill and animals being killed all the time on roads. So there's been a new technology developed. You can either use lasers or echo, and basically when cars come they put up these laser fences, so it's not a physical barrier to stop the wildlife, but they see that there and they think, oh, fence, I'll turn around, and they don't go into the roads. So coming up with something like that, I don't know how you make money on that one, but I love the idea. If you like animals, I feel like that's a good idea. Another idea is people who love to crochet. So you'd go to charity shops, you'd unwind like jumpers and knitted things, and you'd get the yarn. Obviously you'd wash it and then you'd sell that yarn on, because a lot of clothes go to landfill and a lot of people are crocheting. So it kind of marries them two ideas together. Another one I love is a company called On The House. It basically does free period products, and they have huge vending machines with advertising on the front of the machines, and the advertising pays for the free product inside. So maybe you could do like an English version of that, because it's only in Australia at the minute. Maybe franchise it in the UK, or build your own. But I love that idea. My next one is a language app that changes a few words in your phone at a time until your entire phone is in a new language. The best way to learn a new language is to integrate it into your every single day life, practice it. I don't know many people who speak Italian, Spanish, French, so you can't practice it, but if you're on your phone all the time and either you're watching videos and it changes a word, or you're texting and it changes a word, this would be a great way to learn a new language. Another problem I also see is neck pillows. I don't know how to solve this one, but that's a real problem for me. I hate bulky neck pillows, packaging them. I went travelling for like a couple months and I didn't want to carry a neck pillow around with me the whole time. There's the plastic ones that you can have, but they're really uncomfortable. So a different type of neck pillow or sleeping pillow or travel pillow, that needs to be invented ASAP. And finally, for products, a gym equipment that converts the effort that you use into energy. I don't know why this hasn't been a thing already, but when you're like doing when you're doing a weighted load press, so you're putting free weights onto a machine, that energy that you're exuding should become energy. Don't know how it would work, someone scientific, but I feel like that's a really good idea. If you feel comfortable creating content, these are kind of more front-facing, founding content ideas. So content on personal brand-led is the next theme. So a niche newsletter, so marketing trends that are explained simply, or anything to do with your niche. So you could do a football newsletter if football's something you're interested in. I really am interested in women's health, so maybe you could do a women's health one, or a business entrepreneurship one, something that people will want to read in a specific niche, and you can add products to it to get commissioned that way, and some platforms also pay for views. So that's another idea on how you can monetize it. You can also have a TikTok, YouTube, podcast channel reviewing things, or create just a YouTube in any sort of way. You get money through views, sponsorships, ad revenues, things like that. So that is another way you can make money. And YouTube is a business. It's a self-employed business, but I would still count it. I would also maybe start niche job boards. So the job market is getting really, really hard. Unemployment is at the highest it's ever been in the past 10 years in the UK. So creating niche job boards, so startup jobs. If someone wants to work in a startup, they go on your specific website or a branch of your website to find jobs in that area. If they want to work in remote jobs or creative roles or marketing roles, just make it way more niche and specific, because things like Indeed, it's really, really hard to navigate, and there's just so much on there. People apply for anything. If it says marketing, it's so general, so there's so many applicants. So make a really niche board so people know what they're applying for and make it easier to apply. And my final one would be personal branding coaching for non-influencers. Influencers speak all the time about their personal brands, but for people who are in normal corporate jobs or university students, or just people who want to work on their personal brand, you could do audits of their life. So you could do digital, so look at their digital footprint. You can look at how they're perceived in business and help them and improve in that way. But you need to first learn about the personal branding, which is like the biggest trend right now, I think. So my next category is low-cost digital products. This is one of the easiest ones to set up and probably one of the cheapest ones. So Notion templates have been very, very popular recently, but make them more niche. So for students, for founders, any sort of trackers are also a really good business idea. Again, you create one product once, and then when someone clicks on the link to buy it, it sends them to them automatically. There's no fulfillment, and there's no you needing to create or specialise something that's for them. It's just a pre-created product, so I really like that idea. Any sort of social media content calendars for small businesses always do really well. A guide on anything that you've got a speciality in. And finally, analytics. analytics videos. So my brother plays in a football team. If they recorded their football games, sent it to someone who would be able to watch the video, review it, they'd come up with pointers, they'd give good feedback, constructive feedback, and they'd be able to help the players kind of come up with a report. They could either do it as a team or individual player reports, but you could do it with any sport. It doesn't have to be football, it could be volleyball, netball, it could be literally any sport, and it would be an online analytics, sports watching and commentary thing, and then it helps them improve. And you kind of, maybe you could do it per video, or you could do it in a subscription kind of model as well. So some more service-based ones that I came up with is social media management for small local businesses. If you're good at marketing, if you're good at social media, maybe find a niche, so go into hair salons or something that you're interested in, a type of business, and go for that. Web design for small businesses, but take it a step further and do the entire online setup. So if you know a business that's maybe just in person or just has a website, set up their entire online ecosystem. Email marketing setup for startups or small businesses. A lot of businesses I know, they have the customer data there but just don't know how to use it, so set up email marketing for them. A pitch deck design service for startups, so they send you their brand kit or they send you their business plan and you create a pitch deck with it. Obviously you need to know a little bit about pitch decks first. Personal branding for early stage founders, so people that want to start, you can kind of give them guidance and build their personal brand with them and for them. Product photography. Phone cameras are getting so good at the minute, and if you can see, I don't know, an Etsy business, a Facebook business, a local business that need better photography, reach out to them and offer them product shoots. Have a portfolio on your website, and then people will come to you for product shoots. If you have a professional camera, that's even better. A service where you test business ideas for them, so basically market validation. So I'd give you any idea in this list and you'd go and validate it. A life audit, this is one of my favourite ones, and it is service based. So you meet with someone, you basically get to know everything about their life. On a more quantitative side, you could also add a qualitative effect, so how much they earn, how much they have in savings. You could do the financial, you could do goals, you could talk about career, you could talk about mental health, physical health. Basically audit their entire life, make improvements, suggestions, and then support them as they make them improvements as well. I really like that one. It gives people a sense of direction, and for me I'd find that quite fulfilling because you're helping people as well. And then finally, the service-based one would be a sustainability consultant. So if you're really interested in sustainability, you'd go into a business, you'd look at what they're doing, so their traceability, their carbon footprints, their packaging, everything to do with that, and you'd give them an audit on what they're doing, make suggestions and help them implement it and continue it as well. And that would be a continuation service as well, to make sure that anything they do bring in new to their business is sustainable, and make sure that they've got set goals that they're going towards. Investors love this in businesses, so this is a really great sell. Now my second to last category is local and community based ideas. Now I really think the next thing in marketing and businesses is going to be in-person, community based. So these ideas are going to be really, really important, I think. So a pop-up market event for small businesses. You would email the council, find an area, hire a hall, and invite loads of small businesses from the local area. You could then do some marketing, put out flyers, Facebook posts, and invite people to come. You'd get commission from the stalls and pay off whatever the hire fee would be, and then it would create more of a community for local businesses. Or on the other end of this, you could create a platform to discover local pop-ups and markets and take a commission that way. Another community idea is set up a co-working or study space for young founders. So maybe set up sessions that we all come work together to build, or just an actual physical space that people will meet to go and do work together and help build. I would also do a skill swapping event, so where people trade skills instead of paying each other to buy skills. So you kind of can skill match people. If someone knows something about AI, someone knows something about marketing, they meet and they teach each other what they think, and that's the currency, is the skill and not money. Another idea is a physical shop, and it's an everything rent shop. Now these things are huge in America, and I haven't seen any in the UK, but I know for a fact that I would want one of these. So basically it'll be a local store that you can go to and you can rent anything. So things that have like a one-time yearly use. Think when you first move into somewhere you need a drill, or you could go on that camping trip once a year or a skiing trip once a year, maybe certain books. There's so many things that people just have one use for. So a shop where you can hire out the things and then they return them. That is such a great business model, and it really builds a community as well, because people will come to that same place over and over again. And another addition to that I've seen is in America they have like a fix it day. So if there's some like little jobs, so I had a lamp that was broken, I don't know how to fix it, but if someone in the local area does, you have like a fix it day where you bring everything, get everything sorted, and you have a specialist in the field. That's a TikTok I saw in America, and I thought it was so cute, and there's nothing really like that. We don't have that sort of community I'm in Manchester, so in Manchester we don't, but in the UK I haven't really seen that anywhere. So an everything shop would be amazing, and it's also very franchisable. Obviously in main cities it works really well, but even local smaller cities it would work well too. Another community-based idea that is digital is a subscription-based learning community. So every week you'd maybe have it's kind of like a podcast, but instead of it being spoken, it'd be digital. So you get weekly emails of experts in their fields doing little talks, knowledge shares. We call it brown bags at work, and it's like a daily dose or weekly dose of knowledge instead of just consuming content that you won't remember. And my final local community-based one is small sports player scouting marketplaces. So if you maybe play semi-pro or in like lower leagues, you want to start playing, you basically create a profile on this platform, and you can either get scouted, you can make teams together, you can show your levels, you can show your tricks, you can kind of create your own, like a FIFA card that you used to have. You basically create that on a platform and kind of show what you're looking for and opportunities out there, and it just makes it more visible for everyone, increasing visibility for local players and for kind of that semi-pro players as well. It doesn't have to just be football, it can be anything: netball, volleyball, cricket, whatever sport you think. Finally, my last category is trend-based or emerging ideas. So there's only 3 in this category because we're at 47. So the next marketing trend ad agency. You see, it was a huge trend in marketing. Now it kind of went to employee content generation. Now it's kind of that founder-led, but I think the next thing is going to be community-based, and it's kind of turned, instead of UGC, it's going to come into actual people meeting together, and that's how they're going to market to people through physical events. So it's when someone is messaging on ChatGPT and it suggests them a product, it will have the product there to buy automatically. So you click on it and you buy directly through ChatGPT or whatever AI you're using, Copilot, Copilot. And brands then need to be that top search in that product recommendation. So you need to learn how to do this, do AI ads, learn how to do that and implement it and create an agency out of it. I also think a micro-influencer matchmaking platform for brands would be great. Again, micro-influencers have their profiles, they're cheaper than influencers, and micro-influencers usually have a niche out group of people, so you're able to target your customers even better. Also, a bit of a fun one would be an internet culture meme products. So kind of stay on top of internet meme culture, create digital physical products and sell them. If you can create a TikTok platform that aligns with this, then you can sell through that, and that will be another fun idea. And finally, the personal branding audit system, but in a dashboard, and kind of make it qualitative so people can have aims and goals and KPIs for your personal life, not just for your business, and make this into a physical dashboard that they can have access to. And that is how you'd make money, is the access for the dashboard. So that is 50-ish ideas that I've came up with personally that you guys can use, change, get a bit of inspiration from, and I really hope this helps in your entrepreneurship journey and building a business. Let me know if you'd want to see anything else or any ideas that you really liked. I'll link my Instagram down below, and hope to see you in the next ARC video.